covering all the news from every dark corner of the universe. SliceofSciFi.com.
And greetings, everyone, to another Slice of Sci-Fi. I am Michael R. Menengay.
I'm Sam Roberts.
I'm Keith Lane.
I'm Megan.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm Megan's here. And?
And I'm Ben Raggington, and we have with us tonight on the phone, we have a really wonderful gentleman, very interesting. His name is Tom Gray. He's a writer and director in Los Angeles, and he has this wonderful fascination for storytelling, which is how he got into some sort of a filmmaking career, and has even explored this new avenue of cosplay and something to do with Game of Thrones. But instead of hearing me, why don't we say hello to Tom Gray? Hello, Tom.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Awesome. It was great to have you on the show. Great you could join us. This is something that we were not fully aware of, but have become so over the last week, and it is really cool stuff that you are doing.
Yeah, can you explain it to our listeners?
Sure. Well, I'm assuming you're talking about Cosplay Piano.
Yes.
Yeah, I kind of ingested all of them.
Which is a show that, so Stan Lee, the comic book writer Stan Lee, has a YouTube channel. And I came aboard a little while ago to come up with some new concepts for them and come up with some show ideas. And one of the ones that I came up with was the show called Cosplay Piano. And the basic concept is you have a world-class, amazing piano player, and she does covers of like film, TV, video game scores. And she sometimes is just doing that by herself in costume. Always, that's a cosplay aspect. If anyone doesn't know what cosplay is, it's short for costume play. It's what a lot of people do is you go to conventions, you see all those people dressed up in costumes. It's kind of, that's what it is. So she dresses up in costume and will perform, and we build shows around it, basically.
Well, instead of us trying to explain it, we do actually have a nice little clip of this because when I first heard about this, I thought, okay, they're basically at a con someplace hanging around the piano in the bar and a bunch of cosplayers. But no, this is a really incredible production.
It's almost like a music video.
Yeah. It really is.
I can't tell you how many people have told me that they didn't know what cosplay was before.
Wow.
And when they saw it first, when they saw just the title, Cosplay Piano, they thought it was some sort of porn.
Okay, yeah.
That's awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay, well, that's the separate channel. That's a different project.
Well, let's give everybody a better idea of what this is, because we have a little bit of that.
All right.
That is just amazing. Utterly amazing.
I find it great piano.
She's amazing. Well, it's beautiful.
The imagery, the costumes, every part of it, including the piano building up, is just amazing stuff.
So you said you came up with this idea. Like, how do you arrive at that? That's really unusual.
So I dabble with the piano. and I've dabbled with the piano for years, and I've never been any good at it. But I'm addicted to watching piano videos on YouTube. There's thousands of just amateur piano players playing the piano, and usually, generally speaking, it's, you just have a camera, like a little webcam or a camera just pointing right at you playing the piano. And a lot of people online, there's a lot of people doing covers of like Final Fantasy and things like that. And I'm a huge movie score and video game score nut. Like if you look at yes, I still have a CD player in my car, so I haven't upgraded to MP3s yet. But if you look at my CD collection, it's all like scores and stuff like that. So I'm a big geek in that sense. So my natural inclination was, well, people like music and I like making videos. So instead of, trying to come up with these funny sorts of, internet, whatever we can come up with random, let's try to be viral, which is silly. Let me just try to make something that I really would, a show that I would really enjoy. So that's where kind of this idea was born from, and then I started a search for a piano player, and after a very long and arduous journey, I came across Sonia. So I could not be happier with finding her.
She's amazing, right? She's world class. It's Sonia. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing the last name right. Belosova.
It's Sonia Belousova. She's originally from Russia, but she has been here in the United States for a while. She went to Berklee College of Music and then over to UCLA. And yeah, I probably interacted with about 100 different people. I went out to colleges. I went out to, even Craigslist. I went out to friends telling me people like that. I personally met with, I would say at least 50 people.
Wow.
And we screen tested 2. And the other girl, I'll just say for the fact that it was amazing as well. And she would have been really good, and I liked her a lot. Sonia, though, when she started playing, everybody's jaw in the room just dropped, and I was like, "That's the girl, done."
That's those Russians.
So it was she played a Spider-Man, Danny Elfman's Spider-Man for the screen test, and she just her hands were moving so unbelievably fast that I just it was incredible.
So I gather that this Game of Thrones cosplay video, this is your most recent one that you've done?
Yes, we've done, so far to date, we've done 4. We started with The Walking Dead, and The Walking Dead one,
awesome, by the way.
Well, thank you. The Walking Dead one was a big production in the sense of we went to this old abandoned hospital, and we made it look like zombies were there, and we based the video a lot around sort of the first episode of The Walking Dead where Rick wakes up in the hospital. So in the video, Sonya wakes up in the hospital and she wanders around and she finds some zombies and there's a piano, and so it's just basically this montage, and there's this whole thing with the zombie, and if you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
The 2 that we did after that, we did a Batman with the old Danny Elfman, Tim Burton Batman theme. And then we did Superman. And both those were smaller in studio. And our original plan was we were actually going to do, we were going to start with some simpler in studio ones and then do a couple bigger out of studio ones. And then it would be a nice mix between the 2. We ended up timing wise, it just didn't, we couldn't get the rights to the songs cleared fast enough, so we ended up wanting to get the Walking Dead one out right before the finale happened. So we kind of switched up our order, and we started with a big one, and then we had 2 studio ones, and I don't mean to make them sound like they're less, because I really like the studio ones, like the Batman one.
I loved the Batman one, just musically, and I don't know anything about music, but just the piano on that Danny Elfman score was amazing, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, that was my whole thing, was I love doing these big elaborate productions and I want to keep doing them, but even if it's just watching her play, it's just, I could literally keep the camera still if I wanted to and just point it at the keys, and I think it would do fine.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
There's definitely a visual of seeing Catwoman play the piano that's just neat by itself.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
No,
yeah, and I when she walked out in that Catwoman costume, everybody was like, "Holy!"
Yeah, Tim Burton Catwoman.
It was definitely cool.
Now, I'm just really curious with the Game of Thrones one that was done. the arrangement. Obviously, you got some other musicians in there. Where did you get them? And did our pianist, did she do the arrangement for the other instruments as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's all, so far, every musician that we've gotten that is other than Sonia. And the only ones that we've done more musicians are, in Walking Dead, we had a violinist. And in Game of Thrones, we have the percussionist and the flutist. And those all came through Sonia. They're all friends with Sonia. And I basically, with Game of Thrones, I said, look, we're going to go, I was like, Game of Thrones is right now like one of the best TV shows. So if we're going to do it, let's not do it unless we're doing it as best as we can possibly do it.
Well, now, let me stop you right there, because you actually have a behind-the-scenes document, a little video that you guys did that I think does a beautiful job of showing and explaining a lot of what's going on behind the scenes. It's just really, really cool. I think we should show that right now.
Sure.
Hey guys, it's 7 in the morning. We're at the Hey What's Your Face warehouse, where we are about to begin day 1 of Cosplay Piano Game of Thrones. Come on in, check out what we got. Women, and we have a brothel. This is my VIP. She's my production designer, Megan. She is probably, other than Sonia, the person I collaborate with the most on these videos.
I decided on the brothel scene where they introduced Littlefinger's brothel. It's like red drapes behind windows that have all this black crosswork. So I figured I could create that with black lace.
Setting up here is a blizzard location, and we are going to do a essentially a composite shot to make it look like they're north of the wall.
We're gonna make a little white box, and then we're gonna put a camera in there, and we're gonna turn on a lot of water elements, and we're gonna see what happens.
So we're here at the beginning of day 2 at Tejon Ranch for the Cosplay Piano Game of Thrones. And right now what we're setting up is we have our Panther crane that's set up on the back of this truck here, and we're going to be doing a lot of crane shots up here. We're trying to use this location, this setting. Really like making these videos and we want to make more, so please,
I would love to make more.
Please like, share, comment.
Let us know what else you want to see.
That really spotlights just the amount of work that went into this thing. I mean, the scale of this is just amazing. You have to be so proud.
Yeah, oh yeah, it was a big undertaking, and you know, to their credit, everybody in my team did such they went all out, like above and beyond. So yeah, I couldn't be happier. We're working on a sequel to that behind the scenes, where we're going to show like the visual effects aspects that went into it, and like the whole post, because you know, the production is one thing, and then the post. I mean, what doesn't come across too much in that video, because we didn't really go into it, because we kind of didn't have time to really talk about it, because we're so busy with the reshoot. But so on our second production day, we were supposed to do the hilltop scene with Lyanna Stark, and then the desert. And the desert scene, we had like 45-mile-per-hour winds, and it killed us in the sense that like we were told literally like we couldn't bring the crane out, we couldn't do any of the shots. Like we had this whole sequence planned where, you know, it's her as Daenerys, and she was going to have the drummer was going to come come to her and then like secretly try to assassinate her, and she was going to be saved from the flute guy who was going to be dressed as Jorah. And then they were going to take the torch, and they had a torch, and she was going to light the piano on fire, and then she was going to walk with the dragon egg in, and then we were going to end it with her, you know, in the ashes, with the little baby dragon. It was supposed to look like the end of
that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
So it would have been awesome, but at the same time, you know, stuff happens, and what ended up happening was we had 45-mile-per-hour winds, and we did our best to shoot that day, but you know, we all left really depressed, being like, wow, we just were not able to really get what we wanted. And I said, okay, well, let me cut together what we have. I'll try to make it work. I spent the whole weekend, and this was Labor Day weekend, so it was a long weekend, and of course I was sitting there editing the whole stupid weekend. So I edited the whole thing, and I was like, look, this does not, it just doesn't work. It doesn't work the way we wanted it to. We're not going to be able to get what we want. I really need to do a reshoot. There's this big whole hubbub that, you know, we had no more money left, so I ended up going out of pocket and just spending my own money to just get it done. And we shot that. I found that location, the new desert location, in a day and a half, and it was in this place called the Inland Empire, and they managed to process a film permit in a day, which is thank God for them, because otherwise we would not have been able to do it. We shot there on the Friday, and then I had to edit it over the weekend, and then we released it on the following Wednesday. So we had to edit it and then do visual effects and all that stuff, and like everything was so last minute, and like we literally like I have thing on my Facebook page. I like have posts from that last night because I slept like maybe 6 hours in like over the course of 4 days, and like I have pictures every hour, an update of I really want to go to sleep. This is awful. And then like the next hour is like, this better be worth it. It was terrible. And then like oh man, it was such to get it out on time, because we really wanted to try to get it out before the finale, and it was a battle.
Totally worth it though, because I mean it's spectacular. I will make a request though that you figure out how to get the burning piano idea into something sooner or later. That's awesome.
The burning piano would have been cool. I mean, part of me kind of is thankful that, like, I don't want to say this too much, but part of me is a little thankful for that windstorm, because I think that the location that we found for the desert, for the second location, the one that we ultimately used, is such a gorgeous, perfect desert location that I personally think it was better than the first location.
It looked like it was right out of the series.
Yeah.
Oh, it was incredible. Like, I will so shoot there again, something. But with, you know, we had to cut out some of these other things. But at the same time, like, you know, part of my other fear was that by putting so many like little story elements in, that it was like really starting to get complex with 4 different locations to cut between, and the story element, and all this like, you know, burning piano. And that granted, yes, the burning piano would have been cool, and you know, I did talk Sonia into you know, reenacting that scene from season 1, and you can imagine there's when you go into a fire and your clothes are burned off, there's a certain I did that for the internet fanboys. I thought that they would enjoy it, but sadly that got cut. But you know, it happens. It's still YouTube. It would have been G-rated, but that's beside the point. But you know, as things happen, like that's the fun thing about doing filmmaking in general, is that stuff happens, and you have to be able to switch things up really fast, or else you're just not going to be able to do it. So, luckily, again, everybody in my team kind of came together and just pulled it up.
So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the visual effects. I know you talked to us a little bit about it, but some of those elements that you did, that piano building itself, I mean, those are some pretty intense technical things. I mean, it doesn't sound like you were doing that on your box at home in Final Cut, right? There are some other people doing that.
You would be surprised.
Really?
No.
Teach Mike.
I know. I was saying, write this all down. Mail it.
If that's the case, I'm coming over to your house and you're going to teach me something.
Yeah, exactly. No, we did have some talented visual effects folks. I reached out. There is a friend of mine produces for this channel called it was Freddie Wong's channel. It's like Freddie W, and he does a lot of. He has had a YouTube channel for years now. He's one of the top YouTube channels, and his whole shtick is like visual effects heavy stuff. And if you haven't checked it out, you should definitely check it out because it's a lot of cool stuff. He's very gamer oriented. They have a lot of videos where they're like constantly, shooting things. Like there's a lot of cool stuff that they do. So it's always a lot of visual effects. So I reached out to my friend who works there, and I said, hey, do you know a visual effects person? And she's like, yep, I have the perfect guy, and there's this guy named Alessandro, and she connected me with him, and he was awesome. I went to him and I said, look, this is a YouTube thing, I have a very limited budget on this, I can only do this. And he's like, you know what, this is a really cool concept, I really want to do it, let me see what I can do. And he brought a whole group of people together. I'm not sure Alessandro actually made any money off of this, because he sort of subbed out a lot of work to other people. But I mean, it was the sort of thing where it's like so many people came together that were so talented and were like, yes, I totally want to do this. Like some of the matte paintings we got for like the castle and for the wall and whatnot are like people that legitimately do that for a living.
Wow.
And they were like, let's do this. This sounds cool. And then when they saw the level of dedication to the production aspect, I think it really motivated them to be like, oh, wow, they're actually putting a lot of work into this, and it's not just, Joe Schmo with his, video camera just going, whoa, what I got.
Exactly.
So, and even on that, like, the production end of it, like, we have a lot of comments. I love reading the comments, by the way. I think it's so much fun. Like, the negative comments, the good comments, whatever. It's a lot of fun. But we have a lot of comments of people being like, how on earth, how can you do this? Like, what kind of budget do you have? And that sort. Now, granted, we have a little bit more of a budget than, say, you're going to get if you're just going to be like, I'm by myself and I'm going to spend a couple $100s on something. But that being said, we don't have nearly the amount of budget to pull off what we pulled off. And a lot of that came from really good people working for a lot less than they should be, and doing things because they really wanted to do it and they loved it. So, like for everyone from the production crew, Hey What's Your Face, which is a camera grip company, like did an amazing job, and everybody like pulled together. And like I said, like it looks like it's a lot more expensive than what we actually
really,
spent on.
really
It
does.
does,
The
yes.
snow, especially, right? After seeing your behind the scenes in your little white box versus like what it ended up, that was
I was not
impressive.
expecting that white box.
No.
I'm like, that is amazing what they just did right there.
Yeah, the whole thing looks
yeah.
very impressive. I thought the whole bit with Littlefinger and King's Landing. I mean, it's like, okay, where did they find the castle?
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah,
right.
And that's the other thing. Like that set. So that set was literally like a week before we shot, and I have a habit of doing them. Megan Burns, who's my production designer, I have a habit of causing her a lot of stress. We have a lovely relationship, but like literally a week before we were shooting, we were going to shoot 3 locations, and I was like, wouldn't it be really funny if we had like a brothel? Wouldn't it be fun?
Nice.
Wouldn't it be fun to have like this brothel scene? She's like, you're joking, right? I was like, oh, of course I'm joking. And then like about an hour later, I was like, no, really, I'm not joking.
What if I'm not? Yeah.
I ask for that every year. I still haven't got one, so I don't know.
You have the wrong Megan.
Tony, Tom, it's been just really awesome talking to you. Is there any social media or any place that people can follow you, what you're doing, any future cosplay projects that you might be working on?
Or the other stuff you're doing for Stan Lee's channel, right? So
Yeah,
absolutely. Well, Stan Lee's YouTube channel is called World of Heroes, And if you just go to YouTube and click World of Heroes, or if you're at a cosplay piano thing, you'll see it's posted by World of Heroes. You can click on there and see some of the other videos that we have. The ones that I've done since I've been there, there's Stanley Parkour, which is a lot of fun, and you should really check that one out.
I did watch that
I'm
one.
sold with that name. I'm in. All right, I'll go check it out.
Yeah. No, I have stories about that one in particular on just running around and doing some crazy free running, and the song we created an original rap song, which we had a lot of fun doing. So there's that one. The superhero speed dating is another one that we did, and obviously cosplay piano that we did. So there's a Stanley YouTube channel for cosplay piano in particular. There is cosplaypiano.com. They're on Facebook. I started a cosplay piano Facebook page, and again, it's just Facebook/cosplay piano. You'll find it if you look. And then, as far as me personally, I have my Gray Film, which is just a website that I kind of keep all my reel on. But on Twitter, I'm at the real Tom Gray, and that's Gray spelled with an E.
Is there a fake Tom Gray?
There might be. What it was. What the interesting thing about that Twitter handle is I don't know Twitter at all, or I try to play with it, and I do a little bit, but there was somebody that was already a Tom Gray, and I didn't know. I was like, I didn't want to be Tom Gray 6'8", whatever.
Oh, I get it.
So I found so I was just like, all right, well, let me do the real Tom Gray. That'd be fun. So I did the real Tom Gray, and then after I did that, I started working for Stan Lee, and Stan Lee's Twitter handle is the real Stan Lee.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was kind of funny
it
because completely unintentional.
Destiny.
Yeah.
That is the way it works.
It is indeed.
Well, I tell you what, Tom, it's been absolutely awesome talking to you. And, of course, we will have all those links on our website as well. Follow him back and definitely check out Tom's stuff because it's
super
just
cool.
Brilliant, super cool, and everything else. So thanks so much, Tom.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
All right, folks, you know where to find us. We're on the Facebooks, we're on the Twitters, and definitely use the iPhone app. You can use the Slice app to send us comments or get involved. And that's going to do it for this week. Thanks, everyone. Bye.